got the looks that drives the girls wild, just a sexy boy, not your boy toy, boy. John, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times, do not interrupt me when I'm putting my face on for the show.
Dude, we're live.
Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome live to the Essential Wrestling Podcast. This is episode 17. It's called EWP X7. With us today, we are a little short-handed. John DeConnie could not be with us. Tyler's off apparently pulling the George Costanza route, wanting to be an architect. So we went to the bullpen, pulled out Ryan Joy from minutestobelltime.com. Ryan, how are you today, pal?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on. And in reverence to John DeConnie, I will.
There you go. PWP champion John DeConnie had a private commitment today, and I'm actually a little jealous. I am actually not doing what he's doing right now with what he's doing. And with us, as always, John Smith. How's everything going today? Now, you got it as the NXT senior correspondent. We're going to get to it. You have a huge night ahead of you tonight.
Big night tonight. I'm super excited. And I guess I should have worn this X8 shirt next week instead of this.
That would make more sense. Today's X7. Today is our Rock Austin 2 episode. Today is our Triple H Undertaker 1 episode. And again, another hidden gem of a match. I know they acknowledged it a couple of years ago when they did a top 10 WrestleMania countdown and whatnot. I think it was like WrestleMania 20. Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle tore it down that night. If you want to see a great wrestling technician match, that one's for you. In the meantime, today on the Essential Wrestling Podcast, it's Roman Reigns' yard once again. Karrion Kross's shoulder injury is worse than we thought. Deonna Purrazzo gets the last-second decision to win the first ever Iron Knockouts match. The WWE Championship match is potentially set for Clash of Champions, and you have to use the word potentially, because Drew McIntyre's career might be over. The struggle was real. The struggle was real for the champions of New Japan. We're going to get into that. Ryan Joy, our senior New Japan guy, he's going to go everything that happened last weekend with Summer Struggle. We're going to main event the show with making our picks for All Out, which is brought to you by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. And you're going to see graphics throughout the entire show. We're going to be making picks of every match this week, not just All Out. Our graphics are going to be presented by Ryan Joy and minutestobelltime.com. He does great work with those, great work doing numbers. The Elias Sports Bureau of Professional Wrestling over at minutestobelltime.com. And then at the end of the show, we have 30 weeks till WrestleMania, boys. I'm excited. I'm debuting my top 30 favorite WrestleMania matches. It starts tonight with number 30, so stay tuned to the end for that one. We're going to curtain jerk the show a little differently today, not with a show, but with actually a magazine, because every year Pro Wrestling Illustrated, they come out with their PWI top 500 wrestlers of the given year. I know their time frame is from July till June, so it was July 2019 through up until this past June, so anything recent really doesn't count towards it, because they have to publish the issue, right? It takes a couple months to publish magazines. But there's a lot of hooting and hollering and going that Jon Moxley was named the number one wrestler of that time frame. The PWI 500 number one ranked wrestler is the AEW champion, as well as the IWGP United States champion. Becky Two Belts himself, Jon Moxley. And to round out the top five, Adam Cole, throughout that time frame, he was NXT champion the entire way. Chris Jericho put a company on his back. He's going to give him number 3. Drew McIntyre has had an amazing 2020. He has not lost yet. A Royal Rumble victory, a domination victory over Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania in the main event. And then at number 5, Tetsuya Naito, who's also Becky Two Belt himself once again. He spent the majority of that year as the IWGP World Heavyweight and Intercontinental Champion. Gentlemen, John Smith, I'll start with you. I know we're kind of new to this PWI thing. We're kind of bringing you to light on everything. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I've always taken a look at what the top 5, top 10 were every year. It's just, it always seems so arbitrary to me. And, when it comes down to it, ultimately, it's, the opinions of the writers themselves. So, it could be whoever. But, I mean, if it was me, AJ Styles would be number 1 or at least top 3 every year, just be based on skill alone, because I think he is the best wrestler in the world. So, I congratulate Jon Moxley. I think that he had a great year, and he cuts a hell of a promo. He can work a match with anyone. It's nothing against him. I just I think AJ Styles will always be number 1 to me.
Yeah, like I said, this is 100% completely opinionated. Ryan Joy, we were going over this. Here's the criteria for the PWI 500 and their ranking system. It goes by win-loss record, technical ability, influence on the sport, which again, Moxley and Jericho starting a new company. That's big. Success against the highest grade of competition, success against the most diverse competition, and last but not least, activity. I believe that means that Jericho and Moxley got bunk beds, and therefore they have more room for activities.
Well,
Brothers reference. All right, see, we're starting off strong here in episode 17 with the Step Brothers reference. Ryan Joy, your thoughts on the top 5 before we dip a little deeper into this?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Jon Moxley, he actually had a heck of a year going from just July to June, starting off with he entered the G1. That automatically, that was like 10, 12 really good matches. Dropped one to Toriano. And then he has this year in AEW, he's 15-0 in singles competition with AEW, 3-0 in singles competition in New Japan. He had the IWGP United States Championship twice during this time period. In terms of like variety of opponents, yeah, he's faced Lance Archer, all these guys. If you're not going to put that title on Jon Moxley or AJ Styles, who are you going to put it on? I think that he's the clear favorite for number 1.
I think for this time period, I completely agree. I'm not, again, Styles, there's always going to be an argument for AJ Styles. I mean, there's going to be an argument for a lot of these guys. I mean, how do you argue Adam Cole, who had probably all 500 of these guys? He was the only one that was a world champion or a brand champion the entire 365, because he won it on June 1st when the thing started on July 1st, and he held it all the way through, right? Or actually, maybe he lost it. Maybe what was the bash? It was a July. It was July. So
July 4th-ish, right?
So rounding out the top 25. Here's 6 through 15. Kazuchika Okada. He's always near the top. I see on the screen, not sure if that was Ryan that walked away. I thought John Smith walked away. We saw Cody's name there at number 7, but Cody's had a heck of a year. Seth Rollins, Kofi Kingston got a lot of love. He was the WWE champion when this time frame started. There's AJ at number 10. Keith Lee, who spent this duration in NXT, even though I have him listed as Raw here. We all know the year he had. Brock Lesnar somehow qualified, but he's main event and he's world champion. He's always up there. Kenny Omega, Roman Reigns, Nick Aldis. Kenny Omega with a 13-star performance on this list. Then Nick Aldis, the NWA champion. Roman Reigns we'll get into in a little bit. And then rounding out the top 25, we got The Fiend with Kota Ibushi. The Ring of Honor champion, Rush, comes in at 18. Braun Strowman had a great year with the WrestleMania championship win. The MLW champion, Jacob Fatu. Will Ospreay, MJF, who's undefeated in singles action. Aleister Black, who's had a phenomenal year. Ryan Joy, real quick, what was Aleister's record again?
I believe he's 23-3 or something like that.
23-3. The guy just goes out and kicks people's heads off. Kento Miyahara, if I said that right, from All Japan Pro Wrestling, not really too familiar with him. But apparently, he's pretty good. Walter up there, the NXT UK champion. Walter's always does dominating performances. So, gentlemen, real quick, any more thoughts on the top 25 before we move forward? Anybody that's missing? Anybody that was omitted? Anybody you believe was ranked too high? Other that's not named Cody, John Smith?
Then I got nothing.
All right. Brian Joy, anything from you?
I would have really liked to see the French-Canadian Frankenstein PCO make that top 25. I think he just missed it.
Yeah, I think he was around there if I remember correctly. I don't have the list memorized just yet, but I did do a little searching. You know me, when I'm looking at a list, I look for a couple things, and the top thing on my list is I'm looking for Jersey guys. I'm spying Jersey guys here. Here's New Jersey's representatives in professional wrestling. Jay Lethal coming in on the highest. He's our top guy. He comes in at 86. Ace Austin was just main evented Slammiversary. I believe he was X Division champion too during this time frame. Comes at 94. Joey Janela, Sonny Kiss from AEW. Then you got Rhett Titus, Cheeseburger, 441, just made it. And then I forgot Robert Stone was in Jersey. He didn't make the list, but I keep on forgetting he had that Jersey Shore gimmick with the bromance with Jesse Goddard. So yeah, he's Jersey. Hopefully Robert Stone will get some ring action. We'll get in there next year. Two more things I want to bring to everyone's attention real quick before we move forward. There was a gentleman that we talked about on an episode or two. We didn't know the guy. Maybe had a little bit of fun at his expense. But I wanted to let you know that there's a gentleman that I want to bring to everyone's attention. Here are the wrestlers ranked just below him. So this gentleman got ranked higher than Hiroki Goto, Damian Priest, Angel Garza, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, Buddy Murphy, Timothy Thatcher, Jordan Devlin, Masato Tanaka, which is a nice name. I haven't heard that name in a long time. I'm glad he's still wrestling. Tai Chi from New Japan, who's great. Eli Jake, Kyle O'Reilly, Chad Gable, Eddie Dennis, Ilya Dragunov, Cesaro, Evil, Eddie Edwards, Cameron Grimes. This gentleman right here came in at 106. You guys have to watch out for the Warhorse, pal. He has had a phenomenal year. He's coming. He's already ahead of all those guys. He had a phenomenal match with Cody for the TNT Championship. So keep your eyes on the Warhorse. And then finally, one more thing I got to bring to his attention. Now, I don't know the answer to this. What is the biggest jump in the PWI 500 history? But I'm making a bold prediction right now as we speak. This guy has come out in this time frame. He's come out guns a-blazing. Last year, if I can see this, he was ranked 400 and something. I'll have the number on the graphic segment. We'll look for this guy to finish next year as number 1 on the PWI list. Number 405, Rohit Raju, will make the biggest jump in the PW 500's history. Do you believe in miracles? Yes. Okay, switching gears from the PWI 500, we'll probably talk, maybe we've got that again. What's 17 plus 52? Maybe episode 60-something? I don't know. But this past weekend, WWE had their second of, I guess I'm going to say the home-and-home series, right? That's what happens when you play each other back-to-back, that back-to-back pay-per-views. I've never seen them do that before. This is news to me. But they had Payback on Sunday night. And Roman Reigns, the relationship with Paul Heyman, which we can get into in this as well, but to me, it has already paid off. Heyman didn't have him sign the contract till the last minute. He let Braun and Bray destroy each other and the ring before he made his way down. Heyman held him back, then gave him the green light to go. He wrecked everybody and left as the new Universal Champion. Ryan Joy, you can start us off on this one. Your thoughts on Heyman, your thoughts on the match. Roman's, again.
I mean, I think Paul Heyman said in one of his interviews, his resume speaks for itself. I think it's such an interesting pairing when you have Roman Reigns, who's always been kind of he can talk, right? Brock Lesnar never spoke, so matching him with Paul Heyman was a great combo. This just seems deadly. I mean, watch out on roster. I don't think anybody touching it.
Yeah, what did Roman say? He guaranteed he'd show up. He promised he was going to wreck everyone and leave, and then the fact he's going to win a Universal Championship, that wasn't just a prediction. That was a spoiler, John Smith. And right when he said that was just a prediction, my jaw hit the ground. I'm like, no way.
Yeah, I was flabbergasted. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And then, Paul Heyman says, and you could believe that or whatever. And then I still didn't believe that, and I still kept my pick as Bray Wyatt. But Jeez, why is Roman getting this belt right away? I don't know. It doesn't make much sense to me for the Fiend to just have it for a week, like a transitional kind of thing. But I mean, I'm a Paul Heyman guy, so I'm interested to see where it goes.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are Paul Heyman guys. My wife, my beautiful bride, who loves Roman Reigns more than anything else in this world, she threw something at the TV because that's how much she hates Paul Heyman and how upset she was that Roman Reigns is now with him. This is, it's funny how, we're making the reference to WrestleMania 17 at the top of the show. This is Austin McMahon.
Yep.
This is I put that on the same. My jaw hit the ground when that happened all those years ago. We're coming up on 20 years on that. And now we got Roman and Paul E. And yeah, it's you gotta feel like a feud with the Fiend is gonna be what comes of this. I'm sure the Fiend's gonna want his belt back. And we're gonna go forward with this. I know the Clash of Champions is in a couple of weeks. Maybe something will happen then, or something happen this Friday to give us a little more information. But wow!
Let me just mention that was some great heel on heel action.
John, I was with you that night. We watched the show together. I saw the grin on your face. I believe you licked your lips once or twice. I'm not sure if you realize that or not.
Yeah, I had the couch pillow on my lap.
Keith Lee, very impressive debut against Randy Orton, Ryan.
Yeah, RKO evaded the RKO and went right into the Spirit Bomb. About a 6-minute match, I think, and it's great to see Keith Lee get a victory over Randy Orton that quick, and then Randy Orton bounced back the next night. So no pain for Randy Orton. Excellent victory for Keith Lee.
Yeah, very good. And John, I can't remember the name of what Keith Lee's finisher was.
It's the NXT.
What's that?
The Spirit.
Oh, talking about the one that was in NXT.
Yeah, he had him up like the Death Valley Drive, but then he flipped him up into like a jackhammer. He's using the Spirit Bomb now. So he used it on Sunday for the win. He used it on Monday, which we can get into briefly a little bit right after this against Dolph Ziggler and against Seth Rollins. But he's using the Spirit Bomb as his finisher. Any thoughts on that or anything on the match? Keith Lee was your guy. He was your NXT guy for a long time.
Yeah, he's. It was a hell of a match. Randy Orton doesn't take a Claymore the week before, but then he goes and sells the Spirit Bomb for us. I don't know what that's all about. Make him a star. But this has Randy winning the title written all over it, though. Like, yeah, I got your guy over, and now you give me what I want, and you're giving me the title at Clash of Champions.
Yeah, if you're looking at who they're putting Keith Lee up against real quick, you got Randy Orton, you got Dolph Ziggler, you got Seth Rollins. You got 3 guys that can make a big man like him look good, and he has. And we'll get into him a little bit more when we talk about the triple threat from last night a little later in the show. But yeah, Keith Lee's off to a roaring start. We have new women's tag team champions. A lot of us here, I don't think saw that coming. In the belief that we'd rather see, John Smith. I know you said it for a couple of weeks now, so that's why it's kind of been sticking in my head that you'd rather see these two in Raw Underground than as friends, as champions. So, John Smith, you can lead us with this. Your thoughts on Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax as our new tag team champions?
Yeah, that was the biggest shock of, besides Roman coming back. That should have been on at SummerSlam because we didn't see it coming at all. But, I would rather see them in Raw Underground. I like that Shayna Baszler is getting exposure, though. So any way for that to happen is fine by me. I just hope that it all ends up with her choking out, Nia down in the Underground at some point.
Yeah, and it said choking out. The way that Shayna won that match, she had Sasha Banks in a lead lock, and then she had Bailey in her not the Oslock,
Karabuta clutch.
Yeah, Karabuta. Yeah, the Karabuta clutch. But then she dragged Sasha's arm around Bailey's throat to choke Bailey with Sasha's arm, and then Bailey was the one that tapped out. I mean, I think that's kind of an important thing to realize here. as we possibly now, 17 years after the fact, could possibly get Bayley versus Sasha Banks.
Has it been 17 years?
Yes.
Shayna Baszler is really growing on me in this role. I think that at first this reluctant tag team I didn't really care for, but the last couple of promo segments that they've been in, I think they've got pretty good chemistry.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be fun to see what they did. It is funny. I mean, I thought, and I'm actually happy they stuck with it. Last night on Raw, Sasha and Bayley didn't show up. They're not allowed to be there now. Right. They don't have those belts, so they can't. I thought maybe they'd just come in and run in and be like, "Oh, we're above," but they followed the rules. They did not show up last night on Raw, so it'd be fun to see if Shayna and Nia run over to SmackDown, or even have some fun with the NXT girls down there. I mean, it'd be fun to see what they can do. I mean, you don't want it to go too long here. But you know, I guess I'll make the prediction now. Nia is going to be the one that loses the belt for him, and Shayna's going to snap. And I think that's maybe where they go with that. That's how that picks this feud back up. And the opening match of the show, fun match, very, very hard hitting, very well done, very well competitive. But Bobby Lashley, he won back MVP's United States Championship from Apollo Crews. So MVP got his belt back in the Hers business, John Smith.
Yeah, and the new U.S. title is where it belongs, and now it's official. So now you got to stop calling it MVPs. It's Bobby Lashley's now. And I did notice, though, that the WWE graphic did still have the old belt on Apollo Crews. But
yeah, well, it wasn't on Apollo Crews. It was on the when it comes up, when the title belt comes up for the match, it came up as the old belt. But last night on Raw, they changed it. I'm sure Vince lost it. Because I noticed they changed it last Monday night on Raw when they went over the highlights. United States Championship, and it was MVP's belt. Brian Joy, your thoughts on the match? And I guess the Full Nelson has a new name, the Hurt Lock.
The Hurt Lock. I thought it was the Full Lashley for a few weeks. You know, I think all of us predicted Lashley was going to take that. Maybe somebody picked Apollo, but so a bit of a predictable outcome, maybe, but. I liked the match. Thought it was great, and the right guy won.
Yeah, I would have bet top dollar on Lashley on this one, only for the. I mean, I did bet him. I was right. It was just Lashley over anyone. It's hard to pick against Lashley when it's 1-on-1 straight up. But this was very reminiscent of Shinsuke Nakamura winning the United States Championship after a failed feud and a failed WWE title opportunity against AJ Styles. So it's kind of like, okay, you had a great feud. We knocked you down. Here's a way to bring you back up. Type deal. So I feel like this was almost this. I would have bet top dollar on this one. But yeah, so Bobby Lashley's gonna be tough to get that belt off of him. Gonna be tough to get that belt out of the Hurt business. And then the last match we'll talk about from Payback. The Mysterios. Sounds like a Mexican breakfast cereal. Mysterios. Defeated Murphy and Rollins after Dominic made his real father proud with the frog splash. Eddie was probably smiling from above and pinned Murphy for the win, Ryan Joy.
You know, I thought that it was interesting because ahead of this match, they had already announced Ray versus Rollins on Monday. So I was like, this is a perfect period to put at the end of this feud. The good guys win. We're all happy. It's over. Then transitions to a little bit more, but I think it's over now.
Yeah, I think the exclamation point was put on. Apparently, like I said, who knows if this is true or not? I don't know if torn triceps are starting to be a little contagious in WWE. But apparently, Ray's got a torn tricep. That's why he was held out last night. So, John Smith, I guess your thoughts on the feud, your thoughts on Dominic. Again, this was match 2, and we'll talk about match 3 in a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, he seemed legit again. You know, I was happy with the way he looked in that ring. I just, you know, I don't like that he's using the frog splash. He doesn't really pull it off that well, in my opinion. He's a taller guy. I know he's like going to his roots with the lucha stuff, but I think he needs to put on a little weight and do some more ground-based stuff and still hit the 619 and maybe a couple other high flying things here and there. But yeah, I mean, between that and then his match on Raw, I think he looked pretty good.
I think it's weird. He does the 619 from the left side. I still can't get used to that.
Yeah.
You know, it's a right-handed world. Every once in a while, you see, like the Miz, or you'll see Tony Nese, and there's a bunch of other, MJF. I think is lefty, and you see all of a sudden a left-footed 619. It just throws me off. But yeah, but Dom's doing well. I would like to see Dom. That he's so young. It's almost like he's still got a baby Huey body. Like he's got to grow into it, and he's going to eventually. If he stays, this is the career and the life he chooses. He's starting young. He's like Randy Orton. He's starting young, and he's got the world in front of him. So hopefully, he capitalize if this is what he wants to do. If the love's there, I mean, he's the only one that can hold himself back. The other match is Matt Riddle defeated King Corbin after the bro to sleep, followed by the floating bro. Apparently, Bro Derek got the night off. You don't need Bro Derek to beat King Corbin, apparently. Riddle was singing in the back after his victory, which was pretty funny. Thinking the feud was over, but Corbin jumped him again, so to be continued with these two guys. Big E defeated Sheamus after the big ending. And then on the kickoff show, the Riot Squad defeated the Iconics. We'll get into more of them later, as I am extremely upset and cried myself to sleep last night. Rewinding before Payback. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we go forward to that, here's how everybody did with our Payback picks. Tyler, look, everybody. It's Tyler. Tyler throwing up a perfect 7-0 on Sunday night. Very impressive, getting the 5-point bonus. Brian and John DeConnie both went 6-1, I believe. You both had Sasha and Bailey. Ryan, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, John came in style with 5-2. I just took it on the chin. I got black masked, and I apologize for that 3-4. Woo! I gotta be better. Gotta be better. Somebody just told me once I gotta be better, right? Rewinding to Friday night on SmackDown. A lot of stuff, some other stuff went on SmackDown that was not involved with Payback, and that's specifically the Intercontinental Championship. That just whatever. It's Friday night's championship. We'll just leave it at that. Jeff Hardy put out an open challenge that he later said after AJ Styles interrupted, and it was open to everybody not named AJ Styles. So Styles is freaking out. He's not medically cleared anyway. He sat at commentary and had a hissy fit like a 5-year-old, which was absolutely hysterical. That Jeff Hardy's working the system or whatever he was complaining. But he ended up fighting Shinsuke Nakamura, which was a lot of fun, John Smith.
Yeah, that was a heck of a match too. I mean, we've been seeing a lot of good wrestling the past week or so. I'm not happy that Jeff Hardy's champ, but I mean, he puts on a heck of a match. So, him and Nakamura, I don't think I've ever seen that before. So that was a good one.
Yeah, I believe I think they did fight for something. They had something for the U.S. title a couple of years ago. They had a quick, I don't know, it was one match or whatever. Cole mentioned it. I couldn't think of it either, and I'm thinking like, wow, I haven't seen that. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Cole mentioned it, but I guess that's what I get for listening to Michael Cole. I guess I should. You're supposed to tune him out, right?
Exactly.
But then post match, Ryan. Oh, let's go. Sami Zayn has come home, our real Intercontinental Champion. Ryan Joy.
I was there in the building when Sami Zayn won that Intercontinental Championship. The Intercontinental Championship that he never lost.
Never.
And I think he has a legitimate claim. I think let's get the ladder ready. Let's go.
That's exactly where I was going, because AJ's involved in this too. And the last time we had a situation like this, I mean, I believe it was 1994. Shawn Michaels got injured, dropped the Intercontinental Championship, but he came back on TV with it. And that was the infamous ladder match at WrestleMania 10 with both belts hanging that Razor Ramon won. So I would love to it would be a nice little throwback. And then he had to throw 3 guys with that caliber of Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, and Sami Zayn in a ladder match. Yeah, exactly. That was the first thought that came to my mind, and I really hope that's where the end game is. I mean, if that, you know what, that match should be at Clash of Champions. You know, just take it off SmackDown for one show. You know,
Well,
Sammy was going backstage, running around, ran into his two buddies again, mentioning Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. Ryan, they weren't too happy to see him.
yeah, lukewarm reception for Sami Zayn. They were not nearly as happy to see him as I was. They dismissed him and to finish their conversation. Sami Zayn's not really welcome anywhere, I don't think.
No, John Smith, he disappeared. I don't know the real reason why he left. I mean, I know he's all over Twitter. He's not really one of the guys that pay attention to a lot of stuff political, which doesn't really do it for me, I guess. But Sammy was on for 4 months, but he never called him. That's the no-no in your friends. When you don't see your friends, you got to call them. You got to let them know where you are. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I don't think he has like a real legitimate claim to that title. I mean, maybe like a Shawn Michaels style claim to it, but you know, you decide to take your ball and go home and not defend the title, then how you gonna, like, what justification, kayfabe or not, do you have to say that title's still yours? I'm interested to see what he's got to say.
Yeah, but the thing is, I want to say this was planned. You know, I feel like Sammy gave them enough of a heads up that he was probably gonna, take the leave. You know, like Roman, like whoever, like everybody did, or whoever did for the COVID reasons. If that was the reason why Sammy left. But the weird thing was, he thought he was gonna stick around because he beat Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. So I was like, okay. So I don't know if maybe this was planned or not. You know, I feel like there was.
It's a little weird because
if they knew Sammy was leaving, then I think they would have just gave it to Daniel Bryan. But
it's a little
I'm not
weird.
privy to those meetings. I don't know, Mr. McMahon. I know you were watching. If you want to just comment us on the I-95 Sports Network page on YouTube, we'd love to hear from you. And then with Cesaro, after that meeting, Cesaro went out and had a one-on-one with Kalisto and John Smith. Kalisto told the Lucha House Party to stay backstage, and they did not listen.
No, they didn't. And I'm interested to see who ends up the heel. I guess Kalisto's going to be the heel, but he's the best of them, so he's going to be the one getting cheered once there's people back in the ring or in the arena. So I guess this is the time to turn him heel. You know, because he's going to be the one getting cheered otherwise. But yeah, that was a good match. You can't really hate a Cesaro match. You can't dislike a Cesaro match. He's he's the exact, like, he's what wrestling should be. I don't know what the heck they're doing. I mean, yes, he's tag champs with Nakamura, but I think by now he should have been much, much more.
Yeah, and as great as Cesaro is, John Smith, to bring back the PWI 500, guess who was ranked ahead of him?
That's what I'm saying. That's why this list doesn't really mean anything to me.
I don't think you've seen enough Warhorse matches, John. I don't think that's a fair assessment. You watched one match in a 10-minute documentary. I don't think you're. I don't think any
it was a documentary that killed it.
Justified.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kalisto got I think he was doing some stuff, Ryan, that I have never seen him do before. He's got some new moves in the arsenal.
Yeah, new moves. He also looks trimmer, which is tough to say for somebody his size anyway. He's not been taking his time away lightly. It's clear he's upped his game, and we'll see what happens. Maybe we have
he went to an injury, so he needed to rehab to get back into the ring. He was gone for a while. I miss Kalisto. I like Kalisto. I'm interested to see what a heel Kalisto can do. We've never really seen him in this type of role before. It's always in NXT, he was with Sin Cara, and there were the baby faces, and then all those great moves and great matches he had as United States champion as well. He's former U.S. champion. Fast forwarding the rest of SmackDown, Alexa Bliss went back to the pigtails. I loved it, but she had the little dreadlock coming down that apparently Nikki Cross noticed, questioned her about it, and Alexa Bliss did not respond well to that and broke the coffee mug that Alexa gave Nikki when they first became friends. So, and then as we saw at Payback, Alexa was paying very, very close attention to that triple threat match when it was just Bray and Braun in the ring. So it's going to be interesting to see. I guess you can't. Am I wrong? Okay, but maybe not going to fast forward this. Can you dump? She's not going to be Sister Abigail, right, Brian?
No, I mean she's Twisted Bliss, right? I mean she can't be Sister Abigail.
No, Sister Abigail is.
Yeah, it's already part of Bray's universe. I think that this has to be a new character, somebody who's been impacted by the Fiend's presence.
Yeah, John. Any thoughts on this?
I mean, I guess technically the soul of Sister Abigail could, envelop her or something like that. I just like it seems like this is going to. What's that?
I said, sure. If we're talking technically, that's definitely
yeah. But oh man, I lost my train of thought now. They have the Fiend or Bray Wyatt presumably is going to be leaning more face, but then Alexa seems like she's going towards the heel thing. So if you put them together, because I mean it seems like the Fiend versus Roman's going to happen, and it's when they're not going to give us heel on heel action all the time,
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be fun to see where all this goes. It's at SmackDown. He said you got Roman back, you got Sammy back now. I think all they're missing right now is an Uso and Daniel Bryan, and I think they're back at full force here. So like SmackDown's gonna be really good coming up, and I'm looking forward to it. Matt Riddle pinned Shorty G. Bro Derek was actually in that match. Matt hit the Bro Derek on Shorty G. Then Corbin Corbin jumped or tried to, but missed. Tried to jump Riddle and missed. Post-match, that's set up for Sunday, which we've already said Riddle won. Braun Strowman beat Drew Gulak in a matter of seconds. That was the unnecessary power slam that Drew Gulak took in the Retribution invasion. And then in the main event, we saw Big E and Heavy Machinery defeat Sheamus and Miz and Morrison. Sheamus doing a very good Bad News Brown impersonation and saying, "Screw you guys, I'm going home." As he left Miz and Morrison hung out to dry to take a big ending, a caterpillar, and whatever was involved with that match. So last night on Raw, post Payback, we had somewhat of a mini tournament to determine Drew McIntyre's potential opponent for the Clash of Champions. At the end of this month. We are now in September. I don't want you to wake me up when September ends, guys. There's a lot going on. There's football, there's wrestling, and for the first time ever, there's Stanley Cup playoffs, which, you know what, we have a big game tonight, us Long Island fans. So they had a mini tournament with a couple singles matches where the winners competed then in a triple threat when the winner gets Drew McIntyre. Presumably, if Drew McIntyre is medically cleared in time for Clash of Champions, and they hit that point very hard last night that McIntyre might not be ready to go after those 3 punts from Randy Orton. We saw Keith Lee. He beat Dolph Ziggler in a great match again. Dolph, if you want a guy to put another guy over, Dolph's the guy to do it. And Dolph getting flopped around. He got tossed. And then he succumbed to the Spirit Bomb for the win for Keith Lee. Randy Orton defeated Kevin Owens real quick after Aleister Black jumped Kevin Owens pre-match. Owens hit an RKO after Owens was already hit with a black mask. So that was an easy match for Randall. That's he advanced. And then Seth Rollins defeated Dominic Mysterio, who's filling in for his father after said Ray suffered an apparent tricep tear, and then So Dominic's already getting WWE Championship opportunities. So, John Smith, your thoughts on these 3 matches before we get to the triple threat?
I think they all went the way that I thought they were going to go. When I saw the 3 matches announced, I thought that those 3 men would win, and then I thought that Randy would pin Keith Lee, kind of as like I got you back for the night before in the main event. But I'm always fine with Rollins' shoulders on the mat and him looking at the ceiling. So yeah, the matches were good. I mean, Dominic versus Seth. We've just seen it twice already, so that was really nothing new. I like what they're doing with Kevin Owens and Aleister Black because they're both freaking awesome.
I love that matchup.
Yeah, the two of them, like face Owens versus heel Black is going to be awesome. I just wonder what's going to happen when heel Aleister Black crosses paths with Seth Rollins, because he's the one that did that to his eye, you know?
Yeah, it was Buddy Murphy, actually.
Well, it was at the instruction of Seth Rollins.
Yeah. And speaking of, and Buddy, is that life is not well. Seth Rollins was not happy, Ryan Joy, that Buddy Murphy lost that match at Payback. And he just berated him and just smacked him right in the back of the head as he was leaving.
I have to do a callback here, because our SummerSlam show, you asked me at the end of the show, Ryan Joy, what are we never going to see coming? And I said, well, Murphy's going to turn on Seth Rollins. Well, here we go. I'm a couple of weeks late.
It's okay.
Seth was kind of turning on Murphy, but I think the writing's on the wall there, and I do think that Aleister Black heel might have to face a face Murphy by the time this gets going.
Yeah, we have a new month here, so like I said, it's actually, we've been true to form. We've had one Aleister Black versus Murphy match in some way, shape, or form once a month. That's all I ask. So hopefully at some point in time, that's going to happen. So those three, so we got Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, Keith Lee in a triple threat match in the main event. Wasn't a very long, dragged out match. I was excited. I like this matchup. Three very, top-notch wrestlers for the right to challenge for the championship. And I know John Smith, I know he said you thought Keith Lee was going to do it. I thought it went exactly like that. Keith Lee looked strong. He got the Spirit Bomb in, but then took an RKO. But then Randy, instead of pinning Keith, he actually put over Keith Lee move and pinned Seth Rollins. That's, again, Keith Lee is, I believe, rocket up the tush is the phrase, Ryan Joy.
Yeah, I think you're right, and that was smart booking. In fact, the booking's been great on the last several weeks. And Keith Lee's a ready-made challenger for when Randy Orton wins that title from Drew McIntyre, if that happens, or if Drew McIntyre has to forfeit it, or whatever the story is.
Yeah.
Keith Lee has a victory over Orton. Orton's put over his move. Things are all the balls are in motion.
Yeah, John Smith, I guess you already made your comments on this match. Anything further that you want to add about this triple threat?
No, I just think that Randy Orton's definitely taking that title at the end of at that pay-per-view. That's my comment. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, we got a month build-up. A lot can happen. I think we have 3 more Raws until the 27th. Probably 3 more Raws.
I think this is always
I already sent out the email for our pool. We got to get our second, dust off the second TV. So when we're watching the Clash of Champions, we can have the Saints-Packers game down in the Superdome. I'm sorry. Again, I'm ragging on Hulk Hogan. I don't know why I keep on ragging on Hogan. The Viking Raiders and Cedric Alexander defeated the Hurt Business when Cedric pinned MVP. Little weird ending on that, John Smith. Like, MVP was kind of laughing that Cedric pinned him, and then he held back the post-match attack.
And then they attacked him backstage.
Yeah.
So
what are we doing here? This is
maybe I like it if it was like to give him a false sense of security. Like now they're playing mind games with him too.
Yeah.
Like false sense of security. He goes to the back, and then all of a sudden he gets jumped anyway. So. Anything the Hurt Business does is golden right now, and I love what I'm seeing with them.
Yeah, and then Ryan, the Hurt Business went into Raw Underground, and it was supposed to be Shelton Benjamin versus Apollo Crews, but it turned into a 3-on-3 real quick once it spilled outside that ring. And the Hurt Business they're owning Raw Underground.
Yeah, I think what happened there is they read Roman Reigns' shirt right before the match. And they didn't leave really anybody standing.
That should be the back of their shirt instead of "I'm in." I'm sure somebody had it like, "Oh, MVP or whoever." Like, "Oh, well, we should have thought of that for the back of our shirt." Your Hurt Business, wreck everything and leave.
Yep,
that would have been great. We're trying to get through this segment. It was a little bit of an emotional moment for me last night. I saw it coming a mile away. when they announced that the Riot Squad was going to fight the Iconics, the winners get a tag title match, and then the losers had to never team again, or whatever the phrase they use. It wasn't disband. But then they had
disband.
Was it? Did they say it?
Because it was disband. Because Johnny actually asked me what disband means, so I had to disband for him.
And then they had the pre-match interview with the Iconics, and they even said tag teaming to them is more important than anything in the world, more important than any titles, more important than life itself, that those two are together, and they did the Iconic thing one last time, and then it done and done. And Jersey Girl helped with it. It wasn't, Liv didn't get the pinfall, Ruby got it, but it was a nice combination of almost like a code breaker into the Riot Kick. It was a very nice combination from the two of them, so they're starting to work together as a team. Ryan Joy, what is your fondest Iconics memory?
Their debut when on the main roster when they destroyed Charlotte. I mean, I don't know that they've had as great a moment since then, but that was awesome. And I know they won the tag titles, but that was a better moment.
Yeah, they came in hot. They wrecked Charlotte, and then that opened the door for Carmella to cash in Money in the Bank. And that was the night after she beat Asuka. Like, Charlotte was at the top of the world. The Iconics knocked it down a peg. John Smith, your thoughts on the match, on the Iconics? Or even, how about this, the potential? You got the Riot Squad, and they're going to be up against Nia and Shayna. They earned that right.
Yeah, they did. I don't think they're going to win the titles yet. Or, I mean, it all depends on when the match is. If it goes till the end of the month, then we can build up the tension between Shayna and Nia during that time, and then they could win it. But if it's next week, I don't see them winning it. Yeah. As far as the Iconics, that would probably be my favorite Iconics moment too. So I'm not going to say that. I'll say every time Peyton Royce makes an entrance is my favorite Iconics moment.
It's a perfect 10, John Smith. It's a perfect 10.
Yes, it is.
And then Billy Kay was the one that got pinned. You fast forward to later in the night, the Iconics, like Shane was trying to pick him up. Hey, why don't you come to Raw on the ground? We'll put a smile on your face. And then that Jessamine Duke made her Raw on the ground debut. She whooped somebody. Marina Shafir got in. She whooped somebody. Then they eyed up the Iconics, and it was like, okay, one last hurrah and Raw on the ground. And Peyton Royce just took Billy, threw her right into the Lions 10, Ryan Joy. And Billy didn't last too long.
I guess we know who the heel and who the baby face are going to be after this. That's brutal. That's brutal. We can no longer be a tag team, and I'm going to send you into Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir.
Yeah, well, that's what you get for being pinned. That's what you get for being pinned. It was Billy Kay's fault they're not a team anymore. John.
Oh, my gosh. Iconic.
It was very iconic. Also on Raw Underground, Riddick Moss defeated Titus O'Neil. Titus had a couple matches before that. He actually looked pretty good when shoot wrestling, if you want to call it that. So that was pretty cool. And then Mickie James confronted Asuka. She wants to be the next challenger for the Raw Women's Championship. For those, I know John Smith, you put all the NXT matches into the site. You had to run across NXT Toronto. You had Asuka defending the NXT Championship against Mickie James all those years ago. That was a pretty good match. So hopefully we'll get to see that. But then Natalya and Lana, they came out because they've been chasing Mickie James around. Mickie got the mid kick on Lana in a one-on-one match for that win. But it looks like we're building towards something here. Obviously, it's going to be Asuka versus all three of them. Hopefully we just get the one-on-one out of it. And then R-Truth won, I believe we're up to number 37 now, Ryan Joy? 37? What's that? 38? 39. Wow. See, my old thing, he won it in a parking deck, which is very original. I like that. They made Tozawa get out of the car because he couldn't get into the building and rolled him up. When the day happens, I'm ready. I'll put big money down on it happens. When R-Truth goes into the Hall of Fame, if the 24/7 belt is still around at that point, whoever's the champion should just go up on stage and lay down, have R-Truth pin him one last, and then have R-Truth retire the 24/7 championship into the Hall of Fame with him. I think that'd be a perfect way to go out.
Shout out to Akira Tozawa for driving Trent's mom's minivan into the parking lot.
And sir, who are with you? These are my ninjas. And then we have one last John Smith. I know you like these type of matches. You mentioned before, we've seen them every once in a while. A tornado tag team match between Angel Garza and Andrade and the Street Profits. That was interrupted by Retribution. Retribution had the weekend off. They didn't show up on SmackDown or Payback. But they got in there, and some things happened that are a little jaw-dropping. Angel Garza running, and Zelina Vega.
Yeah, he's turned out to be the classic coward. I mean, I don't know where they're going. I don't know if they're going to break them up yet. I don't know who Zelina would end up with. They just need to. I'm sick of the Retribution thing now, and we need to know who it is. And it's not like fun anymore. We're not wondering anymore. We're just like, come on now.
Yeah, and then even like there's the internet rumors, and I'll pull up SpongeBob for this one.
Yeah.
Even like the internet rumors, like, all right, this week's Retribution members are, and then they list the guys, and then the next time they're out, they're not even the same group of people, which is, and then some days there are only 6, and then some days there are 20. On Monday night, like I said, 4 women. They had to have been women. WWE really doesn't do the crossover intergender. Not anyone not named China. Zelina Vega was outnumbered 4-1, and she started swinging. That's where Angel Garza is going to get bit, because he ran twice, and Zelina took it. So Zelina's not going to be happy. I would hate to be him when Zelina gets his hands on him. But it's okay. Where are we going with this? If we're going to go somewhere, where are we going here? Especially now they're taking nights off too. Oh, jeez. So that was Monday Night Raw in a nutshell. Going forward, we got a big night ahead of us tonight, guys. They're calling it Super Tuesday on NXT, but the Tuesday Night Wars have begun for this short time. It's going to be NXT versus Impact. And both shows are pretty loaded tonight. We're going to start with Impact first. We're going to kind of go over Emergence into tonight's episode. First off, shout out to our Impact senior correspondent, John DeConnie. Nailed the mystery opponent for Eddie Edwards. He threw out Rob Van Dam pretty confidently, and then the whole effing show came out, and I was like, wow, John DeConnie, boom, there you go. Eddie Edwards, Rob Van Dam missed him with the 5-star frog splash, and then Eddie Edwards hit the off the knee party for the win. And then post-match, here we go. We're gonna roll right into it. We're gonna try to do 2 and 1 here. Eric Young came out, and this is setting up tonight on Impact for the Impact World Championship. Eddie Edwards is going to be defending it on a weekly basis, and Eric Young is picking tonight to do it. So, John Smith, who do you got?
Well, I had picked Eric Young as the guy last week. I guess I was a week early on that one too. But I don't see Eric Young winning this. But they did do the whole the commercial for their next pay-per-view. It's centered around Eric Young, so I feel like something's gonna happen where like he's gonna have another match for the title at that pay-per-view and win it then.
Okay. So we're going with
I'm going with Eddie Edwards today, or just like no matter what happens, Eddie Edwards doesn't lose the title. He could lose by a count out or something. But
yeah, as I said, this is like I said. Eric Young came out spouting out that he's playing checkers while Eddie Edwards is playing chess. Eric Young is a thinking maniac. He wants to do stuff on his time, on his schedule. And, John Smith, that's not a bad idea. Ryan Joy, if Eric Young's game plan is tonight to get himself disqualified and just beat the holy hell out of Eddie Edwards.
Yeah, like John said, like you're alluding, Eddie Edwards is going to leave with the Impact World Championship. The Bound for Glory pay-per-view is going to be centered around Eric Young. This match, he'll soften him up. Maybe a little shoulder injury or something, with maybe a separated shoulder that seems to be going around, or a torn tricep maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Skull fracture. One of those common wrestling injuries may occur tonight to make him vulnerable for Bound for Glory.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Eddie Edwards. I just got him going. So this is gonna be defense number 5 for him tonight's title defense number 5. So he's got what 4 more to catch Cody. I want him to beat Cody. That's all I want him to do. Eddie Edwards' out open challenge is Cody. That'd be great. And then Rob Van Dam spoiling off that match as well. He's got a ready-made feud going with Sami Callihan. Sami Callihan ruined RVD's girlfriend's Katie Forbes' photo shoot by superimposing his face on hers, which is pretty funny. Sami Callihan and Rob Van Dam are going to get at it tonight. Ryan Joy, who do you got?
Rob Van Dam. Sami Callihan is not having the greatest of years. If you look at his record, it's 2-5. He's definitely losing more than he's winning. Rob Van Dam's just the opposite, winning more than he's losing. So I'm going to go with the odds, play it straight. Rob Van Dam.
There you go. John Smith.
I don't know. I think I'm going to go with Callahan because I think this might just, this might be building up towards something bigger at the pay-per-view too. Because I feel what are they, a month away?
It's at the end of October. We got about 7 weeks.
Oh, okay. So it is a little early. I'm going to go with Rob Van Dam then. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take RVD as well. How often? I mean, we don't really pick RVD's matches that often. I think this is probably the first one since this show has started. Because he was a part of that cancel culture with Joey Ryan, who's not with the company anymore. So it had nothing to do with Rob Van Dam for his anniversary. So, I'll take this. Who's got it better than RVD?
Maybe Peyton Royce should use her entrance, though. What's her name again?
Katie Forbes?
Yeah, Peyton Royce should do that entrance from now on. That would be my favorite Iconics moment moving forward.
The Impact Knockouts Championship was defended in an Iron Knockouts match, 30 minutes. Get us ready for tonight. That's fun. We got back-to-back Iron Man matches. Last week was 30. Tonight will be 60 for NXT. We'll get to that in a second. But Deonna Purrazzo, John Smith, the last second tap out from Jordynne Grace, and Deonna Purrazzo remains your champion.
The end of that match was so Impact, though, man. Jordynne Grace got the tap out, and the referee made her separate until Purrazzo was able to stand up to restart the match. But then when she taps out Jordynne, she goes right back for it and starts beating her up on the ground again. She didn't have to wait for Grace to get up. So that was kind of, a continuity error in my opinion. But, the ending, I think if it was, a couple better wrestlers, I think it would have looked a lot better. But I think they kind of flopped it at the end.
Ryan Joy, the fun things about Iron Man matches, you got a clock going and a scoreboard, and leave it up to Impact. He gave neither.
Yeah, well, that's because another thing that is so Impact is the 27-minute 30-man Iron Man match.
Yeah, probably.
That's I timed it. It was only
you timed it.
So it didn't quite go the full distance. So she had more time. I actually, maybe a little contrary to what John was saying, I actually think that these two are really well matched in the ring. I like their matches. I wouldn't mind seeing another one.
These two hit each other hard. These were hard-fought matches, the two that we saw at Slammiversary and last week. It's gonna be interesting to see where they both go from here. I don't know if there's gonna be a third one or not. Normally, when somebody gets two straight, the feud's over. They just go forward. And then the other match that was at Emergence, John Smith, great match between Willie Mack and Brian Myers. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too, man. I don't know what more to say other than that. It makes me want that Kevin Owens versus Willie Mack match that you keep asking for more and more.
Brian Myers got the win. Brian Myers got the win after pulling the trunks by hook or crook. Brian Myers is going to get in the win column here, Ryan Joy.
Yeah, it's like I said when we talked about it last week. Kurt Hawkins has apparently taught Willie Mack about the losing streak. So Willie Mack assumed the losing streak, and Brian Myers is picking up victories now.
All right, so there was 3 matches last week at Emergence that counted towards the pool. Myself and John DeConnie, we got all 3 right. Ryan and John, you went with Jordan Grace to get the title back. Didn't work out for you. John and I got the extra 5-point bonus. Tyler failed for the 2nd week in a row to get his emergence picks in, so he's still stuck in last place at 4-3. So that is Impact from Emergence. But going forward, we got 2 more tag team matches. Well, one's a tag team match. One's a potential tag team match. Where are we? There we go. We got this match right here. We got Ace Austin and Madman Fuller against the Wrasslins. This stemming off a pretty heated altercation in locker room talk. Madison Rayne lost a little bit of control, Ryan Joy.
She sure did, and doesn't want to go anywhere near her couch anymore, I guess. Well, that was the previous locker room talk. Confused about what it means to be green and whatnot.
Yeah.
But as far as this match goes, I'm leaning towards Fulton and Ace Austin.
Yeah, I got no reason to bet against Ace Austin and Madman Fulton here. The Rascals, they might just be too small. I mean, Madman Fulton could probably take them themselves, John.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with Ace and Fulton. I think they'll probably put on a nice little match, but Fulton, I think, is going to dominate them, and then Austin will take the pin. I think we'll get the pin. He'll give him the pin.
And then the other potential tag team match, like I said, I'm using the word potential because Rhino might have to go on this alone. Rhino's trying to get some payback, no pun intended, from when Reno Scum was paid by Hernandez to get the half of the money from that arm wrestling match between Rhino and Hernandez that Rhino won. Reno Scum jumped Rhino. Rhino wants the revenge against them. Rhino's looking. He has a tag team partner who's been on Twitter with the hashtag Heath for Impact. We're hoping that tonight is the night and that Rhino doesn't get hung out to dry, John.
Yeah, I would love to see Heath and Rhino back in the ring together. I think that's like a perfect intro for Heath to be coming, into this roster, and then they could eventually feud one day. I think that would be a good feud eventually too. So, I'm hoping that it happens. If it does happen, I got them winning. Even if it's 1-on-2, I got Rhino winning, and maybe by interference from Heath. So, yeah.
Rhino taking out Reno Scum by himself. Not by himself. That's what he said. Ryan Joy, who do you got?
Yeah, I'm exact same prediction as John. Rhino either way. Yeah. I'd love to see Heath there though. I think that'd be great. But Rhino either way.
Yeah, I'm with that too. You can't bet against the Rhino. Rhino and Rob Van Dam on the same show. You can't bet against CCW on this one. This is gonna be a great show tonight. And then Wrestle House might be coming to an end, guys. It's for everything is going to be Rosemary versus Ty Valkyrie, winner take all, including Johnny Bravo. So that's going to possibly be the end of Wrestle House. Just a great side note: Johnny Swinger teaching the guys to walk around, throw salt in their eyes, and yell Fuji after they do it. It is absolutely phenomenal. Swingman has been the MVP of Wrestle House, and with Crazy Steve. In a close second, but that was awesome. But like I said, the Tuesday Wars, the Tuesday Night Wars, as temporary as they're going to be, they are starting tonight as NXT for whatever reason. I still haven't looked up. It's probably a Westminster Dog Kennel show or something, knowing USA Network. It's the only time they ever boot wrestling. NXT is going on tonight, Super Tuesday. We got here. Well, we started off last Wednesday. The first match of the night. We won't get to the first segment. We'll get to that at the end because of what it's spawned into. But Breezango. Yes! We forgot to mention last week that they won the kickoff match at TakeOver to earn this title match, and they got it done this time, John Smith.
I couldn't believe my eyes. Although one of my first appearances on this show, I did say I saw Breezango winning the title in the next year or so. I didn't think it was going to be happening this soon, though. They definitely deserve it. And, I feel bad that Imperium didn't get a more successful title reign where they had more defenses. But, that's the times we're living in right now, so you can't really be mad about it. But, congratulations to Breezango, and I hope they hold it for a while.
Yeah, Imperium they had a weird title run here, Ryan. It's almost like they got him just out of Pete Dunne getting stuck overseas, and Matt Riddle getting called up. So you got a twofer on that one. So that's how they got him.
It is weird.
Now with Tom Phillips kind of slipping in there last week, that NXT UK is coming back next month, which I believe is now this month. I think that maybe sending Fabian and Marcel back overseas with Walter.
Yeah, I haven't checked the travel restrictions into the UK yet, but that's kind of what I was thinking as well. Because otherwise, Imperium's, like you said, their title run would be really weird because they had 2 title defenses. One of them was the Undisputed Era, and the other one was against Breezango. So kind of a weird title run. But yeah, it was great to see these guys win. Supermodel kick and a leg lariat from the top rope.
Yeah. They are now the 19th different team in NXT history to become tag team champions. Next one is number 20. It'll be interesting to see who that's going to be. Whoever takes Breezango out. It doesn't have to be whoever's new next in line. It doesn't have to be whoever takes out Breezango. And also the other title match we had that night. Now I'm going to rewind you back real quick because I love me some Lucha Underground. And I actually had to look up the date. It was July 15th, 2015. Was the first time I saw King Cuerno versus Killshot. And it was an absolute amazing match. Fast forward 5 years, and we got King Cuerno, who's now our Cruiserweight champion, and Santos Escobar against Killshot. Fast forward 5 years, who's now Isaiah Scott. Lucha Underground in all promotions has been shining lately, and this match did not disappoint, John Smith.
Yeah, I was very impressed with this match. I can't say enough good things about Escobar, man. Everything about him just screams main event. I want him to be the guy that takes the North American title next, and he could be Becky 2 belts,
Ryan Joy, thoughts on the match? And then, like I said, we'll put this up right now, and I'll give you first pick. The last 2 matches we just talked about. We got Breezango and Swerve going up against Legado del Fantasma on a 6-man tag tonight. Your thoughts on this?
I like this match. We've seen this match once before. Swerve and Breezango lost in that exchange, so I think they're going to win this time. But it may depend on whether or not Santos Escobar brings his loaded mask to the ring or not. That's how he beat Swerve Scott.
Yeah. That's right. He had the mask on. You can kind of see he had the little metal plate in the forehead. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to go with Legado. I mean, you say the 3 of them together. It's kind of hard to bet against them. So, John Smith, who do you got in this match?
Yeah, I'm taking Legado every match until they lose one.
Tommaso Ciampa, Daddy's home. He came out and he made quick work of Jake Atlas. And then again, heel turns left and right. Everyone's dancing, doing those heel turns. He did some damage, Ryan.
Yeah, really rough week for Jake Atlas. He had this happen on NXT, and as one of the 3 people that still watches 205 Live, Tony Nese did the same thing to him. So he's having a horrible week. But yeah, Daddy's home. In true form.
And John Smith, we're going to be getting Tommaso Ciampa a little bit later, but your initial thoughts on his return?
I think it was done that way for a reason. And I'll just leave it at that until we talk later.
All right, and then in a women's division tag team match, we had Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez defeat Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley. I gotta say, and I know this is by design, and this is not a shot on Rhea, but that was the worst hot tag at the end of the match I've ever seen in my entire life. She gets the tag, with the bad guy tag. The good guy makes the valley tag, and the partner goes, trips into the ring, gets booted in the face. Wait, what is it? She got pulled off the apron by Mercedes Martinez. Got the hot tag, tripped into the ring. Got power bombed by Raquel Gonzalez for the win. It was bad. But Mercedes Martinez got involved, John Smith.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't too big of a fan of that match, to be honest with you. I'm not too high on like stuff involving Rhea Ripley, like I've mentioned, but yeah, not Rhea Ripley. Sorry, yeah, Rhea Ripley. But yeah, I don't know.
We'll stop you there then, Ryan Choi. What do you think about maybe a triple threat between Rhea, Raquel, and Mercedes?
Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea. I mean, you've got these three powerhouse women. You've got different levels of experience. Mercedes, very, very experienced. Ripley, very moderate. And Raquel, somewhat inexperienced. And the three of them working together to put together a match, I think, would be interesting.
Yeah.
And they can all be elevated in the match. So.
There's no reason why they all can't just lift the three of them up in the entire division at the same time.
Yep.
Maybe make it number one contenders. Since I don't know, EO doesn't really have an next opponent yet, right?
Yeah, nobody named yet.
So staying in the women's division real quick, Shotzi Blackheart with an upset win over Mia Yim. It was a straight-up win, senton off the top rope. I consider that to be a pretty big upset. And then before the match started, poor Robert Stone, again for the third time, got run over by Shotzi Blackheart's tank. Poor guy just can't catch a break. Kyle O'Reilly defeated Drake Maverick, and then the Undisputed Era jumped Drake Maverick. Post-match, Killian Dane came out just to try to jump the Undisputed Era. I guess Drake thought maybe he was trying to help him. End up clotheslining Drake Maverick as well. I thought that was funny. I was like, he's not for you, Drake. He's just as mad he got jumped the week before that too. So, and then two backstage segments that were pretty interesting and set up a match for tonight. Timothy Thatcher confronted Damian Priest, wanting to be the first one to challenge for the North American title. Damian Priest still celebrating, kind of laughed in his face and walked away. And then also Bronson Reed, like I said, he's got the ready-made feud. He's already beaten Damian Priest one-on-one straight up, so he wants to be the first guy. And he was interrupted by Austin Theory out of left field, who's now appearing to be back on NXT TV. So who knows where that goes? But now we're going to take a guy from the first segment and the guy from the second segment. We're going to put them in a match together tonight as we have Timothy Thatcher going against Bronson Reed. Both guys 500 so far on the year. John Smith, our senior guy, who do you got?
I got Thatcher winning this one. Yeah, I just because it's not a number one contenders match, so there's nothing attached to this. I see Thatcher winning this match by hook or by crook, and then that being a little thing between the two of them maybe for a couple weeks, him and Bronson.
Ryan Joy?
Yeah, Thatcher needs a win, but I'm leaning towards Bronson Reed. I think he's going to keep his momentum rolling.
Okay, I'm going to go Timothy Thatcher due to an Austin Theory. I think they're going to stay with these segments here. That's why I wanted to bring them up separately. Austin Theory is going to cost Bronson Reed the match. They'll get their feud going, and that'll give Thatcher the momentum to go in and challenge Damian Priest. So I'm going Timothy Thatcher on this with Austin Theory interference. At the beginning of the show, we're going to rewind here back to the beginning. First things first, Wade Barrett. Oh, my God. Okay, so we get Wade Barrett. Unfortunately, we just found out yesterday. I think Mauro Ranallo is officially done with NXT, and that hurts. He's been NXT since day one, and he's the voice, and we're all going to miss him. But Wade Barrett looks like he is going to be on the commentary team. And the unfortunate thing with Wade Barrett is where there's Wade Barrett, there's bad news.
Bad news.
And that's where we kicked off NXT. See what I did there? You see, you like that, John, right? I plan this stuff out every once in a while. Karrion Kross.
I'm gonna make that joke.
Karrion Kross did. His injury is worse than we met it on from last week. It didn't look like much, but it looks like a shoulder separation. He had to go the Finn Balor route and drop the championship the minute after he wins it. So what do we do? They see there's a meeting of the minds. We got a meeting between Commissioner Regal. We got Triple H. We got Shawn Michaels. And we even got the H Train. We got Albert. We got Prince Albert. We got Tenzai. Whatever. How many names did that guy have? They came up with this: 4 former NXT champions, pretty much 4 guys that are synonymous with NXT and its history, and we're gonna put them in the first ever 4-man Iron Man match. And this is just got intrigue written all over it. John Smith as our senior NXT correspondent. Holy crap.
All right, let me first say that Karrion Kross, I am so happy he won that title, and I'm so upset that he had to give it up right away. I wish they could have Brock Lesnar'd him and just had him off TV with the title for a few months while he recovered. But it is not to be, because NXT is actually legit, and they need a champion at all times.
Yep.
So when Regal started announcing this match, I hated it. I'll tell you that right off the bat. Just a 4-way match. But then at the end, when he said it was an Iron Man match, it totally flipped the script for me. I wanted a tournament, and now I think this is even better than us getting a tournament, because we don't really know what the heck to expect here. I just wonder how the scoring is going to work, because if a guy like, say, Johnny Gargano gets pinned by all 3 guys once, but then he pins 2 guys, he wins the title because he's got 2 victories and everybody else only has 1, even though he got pinned 3 times. So I don't know how it's going to go. I'm assuming that it's just like if you have a fall, then you get a notch on your points, but I don't think you get any negatives for being pinned or anything. But I think that's the way it should be.
Yeah, what's intriguing me with this, like, this is gonna be this. There can't be any disqualifications or countouts in this either.
Right.
You know, like Johnny Gargano can go in with a chair, and it's not like I can't imagine they would just give the other 3 guys points here. You know, like this is going to be This is going to be a bleep show. Hashtag bleep show. We haven't used that probably since episode 3, but this is Brian Joy. This has got bleep show written all over it. Who do you got?
I think it's going to be Ciampa. Cross has a victory over Ciampa, a pretty decisive victory over Ciampa. So if Ciampa wins, Cross comes back. You've got a built-in feud right there already. He crushed Jake Atlas. Yeah, that's how I feel.
All right, John Smith, you never gave your pick on that one. Who do you got?
Well, I think the whole Tommaso Ciampa being, crazy and destroying Jake Atlas the way he did was to show us that he's the heel that's going to carry the company for a while, because they were going to have Cross be that, sadistic type of heel to carry the company, and I think they're just shifting over that way. I think it's going to be a tie between Ciampa and Gargano, and it's going to go to overtime, and Ciampa's going to win.
The 2 guys who were never supposed to fight each other ever again. Now throwing in an Iron Man match for 60.
Yep.
It is ironic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Again, Gargano and Ciampa are going to circle back to each other. I'm trying to think about where I see. I don't know who's going to win. I haven't. I'm thinking about this as where they're going to go. Like, where's the? I think Ciampa needs to be in it. And like, who's Ciampa already feuded? Or he can't feud with Gargano. Okay, I think that is probably going to be done until they go to a main roster or whatever it is. I don't know. He had the feud with Cole already, right? So I'm thinking, like, for the world, this is going to be Ciampa and Balor. So I'm actually going to go with Finn Balor with Ciampa chasing first. Then eventually he'll get it, and then that's where we'll circle with Ciampa and Karrion Kross whenever Kross is ready to come back.
Yeah,
so I'm actually going to go with Finn Balor on this.
Yeah, I like any of these guys, and frankly, it might be better off on any one of these guys because they can all have matches with each other going into the future. And then Karrion Kross, this might be convenient, and he just goes to the main roster.
Well, you got that way too. But you see, Cole and Gargano, they did 3 takeovers. I don't think we're going to see that again. Tommaso and Gargano's he's already had a takeover match. I don't think Gargano is kind of null and void here. You know, because he's had feuds over history with all these guys already. You know what I'm saying? You know, Finn and Adam Cole hasn't. They had one match on a Wednesday night. They could always circle back to that to begin this as well. You could do some stuff with this, but I think Finn Balor. You got to win the ratings war against Impact. I'll go with Finn.
The thing about Finn Balor, though, I think they had bigger plans for him. I think they're going to keep going on the same track with what they were doing with him. I was waiting to bring this up, I guess, for the future, but I think that Finn Balor is going to be the winner of the Royal Rumble and then challenge the NXT champion at WrestleMania. That's always been in the back of my mind since he came back to NXT in the first place.
And now that you mention it, I might have to retract my Balor pick because you know what? I just realized again they mentioned it on that show. NXT UK's coming back. They have a takeover in Dublin at the end of October. And if you're most likely gonna have Balor and Walter.
That was
the main event out there. You can't have a takeover in Dublin, Ireland without Finn. And that was the original point of Balor actually turning face and going overseas and calling out Walter. So they might actually continue. I might be completely wrong here. It might actually be Tommaso Ciampa. Yeah, all right, I'll hop on. I tried to convince myself about it, but I just completely talked myself out of it. All right, Tommaso Ciampa all the way around. Go Daddy. Daddy's home. Just a quick note before we change to New Japan. The winner of this match, he's going to join a very short list of two-time NXT champions. That list concludes Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura, and that is it. So the winner of this is going to have their name attached to some history. Ryan, we're running a little short on time because we still got to do our all-out picks. New Japan, 5 title matches, 4 new champions. Although one was a new championship, and we got 3 title changes.
I don't know if your numbers are completely right because I have to look at them because don't forget there's a double champ in there. So there was 2 title changes in the one match.
Oh yeah, there you go. Okay.
But it was a crazy card. I went 1 for 6 in my predictions on that. So I was completely backwards. The only match I got right was Sabre and Taichi defeating Tanahashi and Ibushi.
Yeah, I believe I got to rewind. I got to watch the tape again. I think I had Toru Yano. I did not have him pinning Kazuchika Okada though. Holy crap!
That was incredible. That was your Rohit Raju moment from Japan. Yeah. It was a low blow and a roll up for the victory, and then you got him holding the trophy. And I believe I don't know because they haven't really spelled it out, but I believe what's in store next is more of these stipulation matches.
Okay. Until
the end of the year, where fans are going to vote on the stipulations, and that'll be how he defends that trophy until we get to the end of the year.
And I have a funny feeling with just the way he thinks or whoever's writing for him.
Yes.
He said that 2 count pinfall was hysterical. I want to see more of that out of Toru Yano. But let's just fast forward to the main event. Tatsuya Naito got his belt back, Evil with a very short championship run here.
Yeah, a short run. Lots of Bullet Club interference, and that brought out all of LIJ. They stood united against Bullet Club, and tick for tack, somebody came out and counteracted Bullet Club, and yeah, Tatsuya Naito at the end with both belts. That's
incredible. How long it was a month and a half? He was double champion.
Dominion, so he had. This was only his second title defense.
Okay. And then as you want to fast forward to Friday night in the USA version of New Japan, Switchblades in action, right?
Switchblades in action against Flip Gordon. That should be an interesting match. Flip Gordon has got a guaranteed world title opportunity in Ring of Honor. Jay White's always in the IWGP Heavyweight Championship picture. So
yeah.
This is
former champion and the leader, and he's the true leader of the Bullet Club right now, correct?
It's the Switchblade era still.
All right. And I know you said we were really running low on time. I want to make sure we have a lot of time left for All Out. I know you said the junior heavyweight tag team championships were vacated, right?
That's right. Sho and Yo. Yo has been injured since the New Japan Cup. So Sho and Yo vacated the titles. You can see here now they've got a 4-team tournament. It's a round robin tournament, so it'll be 9 matches. These 4 teams will all face each other. They get points, 2 points for a win, no points for a loss, 1 point for a draw, and whoever has the most, the 2 teams with the most points face each other on September 11th for the titles.
Maybe I'm just looking at a knee-jerk reaction here. This looks like Bullet Club versus LIJ here.
It does. I will pick Hiromu Takahashi and Bushi to win this whole tournament.
Yeah, I'll go with LIJ on this one. Those are my guys. I like those guys. So, Ryan, I apologize for cutting you short on your New Japan, but we got a lot of stuff to go over here because AEW's got a big weekend coming up with All Out. They got a big night coming up. They're on Thursday again this week, or are they back on Wednesdays?
They're tomorrow, Wednesday.
They're back on Wednesdays for this week. I know the NBA playoffs has their scheduled all over the place. But we're first going to talk about what's happening on tomorrow night. Chris Jericho, I spy a Jersey guy here. He's fighting Joey Janela. Are you going to give Joey a chance, John Smith?
No chance in hell.
Yeah. and Orange Cassidy, I'll go with Joey Janela with an Orange Cassidy run-in, hopefully. That's the only way. I can't see Sonny Kiss getting involved unless the Inner Circle gets involved. Ryan Joy?
No, I'm going to pick Joey Janela.
All right, Jersey's strong. There you go. Jersey guy.
Let's really get that match tuned up for Saturday, like you said, the outside interference and stuff.
Yep. And then on that, you kind of figured this match would have been an All Out, but I guess they're putting it on tomorrow night. Everything that Santana and Ortiz have been doing to the Best Friends is now coming to a head. As they go, the Best Friends, Santana and Ortiz, they bleached their clothes, they wrecked Trent's mom's van. Ryan, who do you got on this one?
I want Santana and Ortiz to win this, so I'm going to vote with my heart. Best Friends had a heck of a run so far this year. Santana and Ortiz really need the win to get going, so I'm going to pick them.
John Smith, who do you got?
That was pretty convincing. I'm going to go with Ryan's pick there and go with the go against the Best Friends. I was going to pick the Best Friends, but like I said, that was a pretty convincing argument, so I'm going against them now.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm trying to get John DeConnie made his picks for All Out. I want to make sure for those of you who want your
You're good.
You good? All right, you okay?
No, I'm fine.
Gotta make sure we get John Smith a helmet for the next show so he doesn't fall in the
my wire on my chin.
The John DeConnie flavor of All Elite Wrestling picks. We do have John's picks on record here for All Out. I'll go Santana. I'll go with you guys then. I didn't hear the reasoning, but the point is they're the ones that are initiating all this. They need to win. Seems like the Best Friends have been playing defense this entire time, and while the Santana Ortiz have been all offense. We'll go Santana Ortiz. I pick them every single time. They always lose, so hopefully they got to turn it around at some point, right? So going into All Out this weekend, let me get the proper. Let me just make sure I've been good with this past couple times. Wait, I don't even have it now. All right, going into All Out this weekend. Here are our standings. I shot myself in the foot at Payback. So everyone's creeping up on me. John DeConnie, heck of a week, going perfect at Emerges, and then 6-1 at Payback. Ryan's holding steady in third. Tyler had the perfect pay-per-view at Payback that got him some extra points. John, great record, just can't seem to catch any perfect pay-per-views, catch any traction here to get some ground here. Here are our standings for AEW. I believe this was for Double or Nothing, and then the 2 nights of Fyter Fest comprised these totals. So, and then the scoring system for All Out, we got 5 points for the Impact. Look at that error. You got 5 points for the All Elite Wrestling Heavyweight Championship match between Moxley and MJF. All other title matches are 3. Non-title matches are 1. We do have an interpromotional match So the women's championship match between AEW and the NWA, that will get double points. Because of that, the perfect PPV bonus will bump up to 6 points. But to go before we get to All Out, there is a match tomorrow night that will have All Out implications. We have the Young Bucks and Jurassic Express teaming up together to face SoCal Uncensored and the Private Party, where the winning team will face each other. So hypothetically, if the Bucks and Jurassic Express, they win this match, the Young Bucks will face Jurassic Express at All Out. And the same situation for SCU and the Private Party. If they win, they will face each other as well. John Smith, with all that said and done, give me the winner of this match, and then give me the winner of All Out.
I got the Bucks beating and the Lucha the Bucks and Lucha Express, right? Jurassic Express. Gee, will I ever get this right?
Yeah.
Jurassic Express and the Bucks winning.
It's an honest mistake because Luchasaurus is a member, so you're thinking of him, the big dinosaur guy, you know.
And then I got the Bucks. What happens when they face each other at All Out? Is it for the number one contendership?
Yeah, right now it's just a match. I can't imagine.
So what's the point of like pitting them against each other? I don't know. I'm assuming it's going to be for the number one contendership, and I'll take the Bucks, and then we'll roll that way.
All right, sounds good. Ryan Joy.
Yeah, Bucks and Jurassic Express. And then it really depends on where they put it on the card. If it's after or before the Hangman and Omega match. I'll pick Jurassic Express. I'll go out on a limb.
All right. As per John DeConnick, like I said, I have his pick sent here. He's taking actually SCU and Private Party to win tomorrow night, and then he's rolling with the Private Party to keep things rolling. He's got them beating SCU at All Out. I'm going to go with the Bucks and Jurassic Express as well. And then we'll go with the Bucks with the momentum because I got a funny feeling, that tag title match. I think it's time, and it's been leading for the Bucks and FTR going forward. So I hate to spoil that pick, but that's the reason why I kind of think the Bucks would kind of get some momentum here with this. Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy, they had a tables match last week that Sammy won when he put Matt through a table that was over a chair. So that was pretty interesting setup right there. I'm like, wait a minute, that chair's under the table. Sammy got his head split open. Matt got a little bit of payback. I feel like that's going to be the word of the show today, payback. But they're going to go at it again at All Out. And Ryan Joy, you said there's some kind of broken stipulation with this.
Yeah. This is a broken rules match. So it's not a false count. It's last man standing rules, but it can happen anywhere in the arena. If Matt Hardy loses, he leaves AEW forever.
Interesting. And it's Matt Hardy. I guess broken rules. He looked like in the picture he was broken Matt Hardy on this one. So who you got?
Matt Hardy.
Yeah, John Smith. Any reason to go against Matt Hardy on this one?
No, I mean, once I heard that stipulation, I didn't even know about that stipulation where Matt has to leave. He's definitely winning that, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Matty as well. If he's broken Matt and his career, he just got there. He's not leaving anywhere, right? He's not unless Matt Hardy leaves, but like broken Matt can stay. Or there's a lot you can do with Matt Hardy. He's not leaving AEW. I don't think that's the purpose of this, but like that'd be pretty crazy if he loses like one of his like 17 gimmicks.
Yeah.
FTR won a tag team gauntlet match that went pretty chalk. The way they did it was they had 4 teams in it. The teams that were ranked 1 through 4. 4 fought 3, then the winner fought 2, then the winner fought 1. It went chalk. It went in order. And FTR came out on top. Their best friends were 2, Young Bucks were 3, and then they beat the Natural Nightmares who were 4. But interesting, FTR won, and we'll get to them in a second. But Hangman Page kind of interfered with the Young Bucks, Ryan.
Yeah, and that's why I was saying earlier that my all-out predictions are really dependent on where they are in the card. Hangman Page came out, grabbed Nick Jackson's leg, prevented him from making a save on Matt Jackson. and ultimately cost them the match and their shot at the titles.
Yep. John Smith, and then Hangman's out of the Elite, so this is going to be, we're going to lead right into it. We'll lead with you. Hangman Page and Kenny Omega.
Imagine how good those matches would be, an Adam Omega match.
An Adam Omega match.
Like Adam Cole.
Adam Page, I know you thought I meant Adam Cole, but Adam Page, Kenny Omega. Is this the time, John Smith? Are we finally pulling the trigger? We got the belts off of Sasha and Bayley. Can we finally get the belts off of Kenny Omega and Adam Page? Can FTR do it?
Please, I hope so. I'm gonna pick FTR. FTR. They've been. What are their names now? Cash and Cawson, the Crevival.
Crevival. It's Crevival.
Yeah, I'm going with the Crevival on this one, FTR, and then I also, with that other Bucks match that I was talking about, that's definitely going to be number one contendership, and then it's gonna set them up perfect, I think.
Yeah, that's what I say. So I'll match that with the Bucks. I already made my pick, FTR. John DeConnie, he's taking FTR as well. Ryan Joy, who do you got?
So interesting. I'm going to play this a different way. I think Kenny Omega is not going to split with Page, and they're just going to both go heel, and they're going to keep those belts.
All right. It seems to be an impossible task to take those belts off of those two, but like I said, FTR, again, we had another undefeated team. The Dark Order was previously undefeated until they went up against Adam Page and Kenny Omega, and now FTR's got to do it. FTR's going to have Tully Blanchard in the corner. It's going to be interesting. Lance Archer had a match with Sean Maluda. It was interesting to see him again. He's in AEW. He was a former NXT superstar. He was in the original Cruiserweight Classic. He is a member of the Anua family, or the Samoan dynasty, or whatever you want to call it, with Roman and the Usos and Rocky and Nia and all them. So Lance Archer kind of destroyed Sean Maluda. And then it was weird. Jake Roberts doing a promo, and then Taz, Brian Cage, and Ricky Starks come out. And it was a very interesting, some heel-on-heel action, John Smith. And these are some big heels, too. Whoa.
Yeah. This is the ultimate heel on heel, I guess. Yeah. When you look at kind of a tweener, but this is definitely like straight up heel on heel action. So I'm excited for it.
And then following right after that, Ryan Joy, there was an 8-man tag team match. I mean, AEW just loves these 8-mans. With the Blade and the Butcher and the Lucha Bros, they beat Sonny Kiss, Joey Janela, Griff Garrison, and Brian Pillman Jr. He was an internet darling because of the love of his father. There's a lot of people rooting for Brian Pillman Jr. Little Cannon, I guess, is that what we're going to call him, Little Cannon? Instead of the loose cannon, it's the Little Cannon. But Eddie Kingston came out, and he announced as well, all those guys are going to be in the Casino Battle Royal. That's what Taz's announcement was. Lance Archer and Darby Allin were all in it. So, Ryan Joy, we're going to give it to you right here. There it is. There's only 2 guys in the graphic, but you have everybody listed right there. Darby Allin, Starks, and Cage, as I mentioned. Everybody that was in that 8-man, or the 4-man team with Phoenix, Pentagon, Blade, and Butcher, along with Eddie Kingston. What do you got? This is a crapshoot. You're going to have 21 guys total.
Yeah, you're right. It's a crapshoot, and AEW is they're great at debuting people in these matches. Like Cage debuted in the Casino Ladder match. So it's like I kind of feel like it's going to be somebody else, but I do love that Lucha Bros and Butcher Blade faction. So I'll pick Eddie Kingston, because I think an Eddie Kingston John Moxley match is something I need in my life.
There you go. John Smith, who do you got?
I love Eddie Kingston, but you're not going to make me change my pick this time. I'm going with Lance Archer. I think it's the consolation prize for having him lose to Cody the way he did. So this is for a title match. So I got Lance Archer winning it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Lance Archer as well. He was focal. He was in the focus point first. It was him and Darby Allin. John DeConnie's he's going with Darby Allin because he's going the other way from me. Yeah, Lance Archer, if they're going to, now is the time for him. Get him back going again. If he's going to beat, throw him in there with the first group of guys, get him like 10 eliminations out of the 20,
I think this
and then put him in some kind of weapons match with Moxley and make him put Moxley to the limit. Like I said, that's if Moxley wins.
Right.
Which we'll get to in a little bit. John Smith, your Brody Lee shirt, will that be here on Saturday in time for Saturday?
Well, it's in transit as we speak, so I don't know where it's coming from, but yeah, I mean, it should be here by Saturday.
All right. Hopefully we get to see you wear it. We got to take a picture if you wear it or not. The Dark Order had their celebration of Brody Lee winning the TNT Championship. He went on to make he officially named Anna Jay as an official member of the Dark Order now, so that'll Shivani keep on saying during the Deadly Draw, she's not a true member. She's not. That's all put to rest. Anna Jay is in. She's actually recruiting Ty Conti as well, her tag team partner from that tournament. So more to come with that. Because Ty Conti looked excited to be asked. But then Brody went on how nobody can touch them. Then nobody can touch him or the Dark Order. Dustin Rhodes, QT Marshall came out, followed by Scorpio Sky and Matt Cardona. And that's what we have. Again, another 8-man tag from AEW. We have the Dark Order members. We got Brody, Cole Cabana, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson. That's the top notch. That is the cream of the crop of the Dark Order. And they're going against, I guess, Team Cody, if you want to call them that. That's the Nightmare family, along with his best friend, Matt Cardona, and then Scorpio Sky. Throw him in the mix. John DeConnie, any reason to go against the Dark Order here?
My name's John Smith, and yeah, there's no way the Dark Order's losing this match. The Dark Order's going to dominate for a while.
Yeah, and he said if Brody Lee gets the win here, it's not going to be him being the one being pinned, Ryan Joy. But if they lose, the poor bastard that gets pinned in the Dark Order is going to have a boot so far up there.
Well, yeah, give me just a second while I get my Kool-Aid. No chance Dark Order loses this match.
All right, John DeConnie, here we go. John DeConnie's also got the Dark Order. I've got the Dark Order. Like I said, hopefully that's a pretty cut and dry match. Ryan Joy, I'll go with you first on this one. I know you were excited for it. We have an interpromotional match as the NWA Women's Champion, Thunder Rosa. She's challenging the All Elite Women's Champion, Hikaru Shida. And in interpromotional warfare, champion versus champion for Shida's belt. A little background quickly on Thunder Rosa, and then who you got?
Thunder Rosa 5-0 with victories over recognizable names like Melina. She also has a couple victories over Allison Kay. I think that's the name people will know. I'm going to go ahead and pick Thunder Rosa.
Wow, really?
I know it seems ridiculous, but I'm going to do it.
Why not? You know what? YOLO. You only live once, right? I'm not betting against Shida. John DeConnie's got Shida. John Smith, who do you got?
Yeah, I got Shida also.
I wouldn't mind being wrong on this one. That would be shocking if Thunder Rosa is walking around all Becky Two Belts. That'd be pretty cool.
This is the pay-per-view where I'm doing my wild A predictions.
Mimosa Mayhem, gentlemen. We are severely running out of time. This is going to be started. You can win by pinfall, by submission, or by throwing somebody in a pool of mimosas. This is the coup de grace, the grand finale, match 3, the rubber match between Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy. John Smith, who do you got?
I got Orange Cassidy. I think this is all set up for Jericho to be flailing around in a big pool of mimosas. He's gonna do it so much justice, and it's gonna be. We're not even gonna be thinking about Jericho lost to Cassidy. We're just gonna be like, Jericho put on such a good show.
Exactly. I completely agree with that for that reasoning. John DeContie completely agrees with that. Ryan Joy, who do you got?
Completely agree with that. The segment will close with Orange Cassidy drinking a mimosa from the.
Yeah, there you go. I forgot to put the graphic up right there. Jericho's 6 matches. There we go. 9-6-3 for Orange Cassidy. And then before we get to the main event, Jon Moxley has a match on Dynamite tomorrow night against MJF's lawyer. And if this lawyer doesn't show up, then MJF forfeits his title match. So that should be interesting. But then the main event, there you go. The AEW Championship, Jon Moxley will defend against MJF. Again, an undefeated challenger going against an undefeated champion in singles action. Like I said, MJF has never been pinned in AEW, and he will be sure that you know that. He says it a lot. Ryan Joy, you haven't gone first in a while. Who do you got in this one?
So much of what I've said before is kind of hinging on Moxley winning, but I really feel like it's MJF's time. AEW needs to establish a star of their own, and I think MJF's in the lead hunt for that. And picking him.
All right, John DeConnie is also going MJF. John Smith.
Well, I picked Lance Archer because I thought that it would be him versus Moxley. So I'm going with Moxley.
Yeah, I got Mox too. I just, regardless of the Lance, actually, I had Moxley winning this before I picked Lance Archer. I kind of picked Archer because of Moxley, not because I'm not picking Moxley because I have Lance Archer guaranteed. MJF will be champion. It's just not going to be Saturday. That's my opinion. It's not going to be against Jon Moxley. It's not now. It's going to be soon. I just don't think it's going to be now. I don't know.
If you want to see your Lance Archer and Jon Moxley match, January 4th, NJPWWorld.com. Moxley beat Archer for the U.S. Championship.
There you go. Why not see it on U.S. soil? I mean, it was for the U.S. I'm sure it probably was on U.S. Was it in Los Angeles or?
Nope, it was in Tokyo. It was a Texas death match in Tokyo.
A Texas death match in Tokyo.
I know.
Tuesday in Texas, Tokyo death match. All right, so that is it. We went a little bit over. Unfortunately, kind of fast forward a lot of stuff you want to do, but I do want to throw this up here real quick because it is that time. We're going to reveal my first favorite match. I ranked number 30 on my all-time list since there is now 30 weeks till WrestleMania 37. Which I believe is in Los Angeles at the new football stadium that the Rams and the Chargers will be playing at. And I'm going to start this list the same way WrestleMania started as a whole. Where are you? There it is. Tito Santana against the Executioner is number 30 on my list. This was the opening match of the very first WrestleMania. If you listen to the pre-match interviews, Tito Santana had just lost the Intercontinental Championship to Greg the Hammer Valentine. The Executioner was hell-bent saying, I'm going to work over your leg, but it ended up being a flying forearm followed by the figure four leg lock and the win for Tito Santana, who at that point in time was the all-time wins leader in WrestleMania history. One win, he was it. He was untouchable, and then he still has the record for this day. After that, it just went downhill. He lost the next 7 consecutive WrestleManias, a 7-match losing streak that still holds to this day as the longest losing streak in WrestleMania history. He is the reverse Undertaker. But he started off with the win, and that's how I'm going to start off my list. Like I said, we will continue now. This week we have 30 weeks to WrestleMania. Get excited. Like I said, we went a little overboard today. We got to make sure we're off in time for Super Tuesday. We got NXT. We have Impact. We have 2 World Championship matches tonight. We also hopefully that the New York Islanders can eliminate the Flyers. That will completely make my night. Join us again next week. I have no promotions to do today. I do believe I botched a guest name from last week. So I think they're going to hold off me on reading promos for the time being. I'm going to put this back up here. Please subscribe to the Body Slam Brigade newsletter from minutestobelltime.com. That is Ryan Joy. That is our Elias First Bureau of Professional Wrestling. And like I said, please come back with us. Episode X8, John Smith, you're going to have to wear that shirt again unless Brody Lee wins, and I want you to wear the Brody Lee shirt. Please join us again next week, 6 o'clock. Same channel, same tube. We're on Facebook, YouTube, the I-95 Sports Network, Blackjack Media Networks, all that fun stuff. Thank you so much for watching. For Ryan Smith from Minutes to Bell Time, thank you for summing in today, coming out of the bullpen. We can really appreciate it. For John Smith, my name is Al Karl. Thank you so much for watching. Tyler Adelle says hi. Alexa Bliss, we love you, and we are very interested to see where you're going with this whole theme thing. My name is Al Karl. Ooh, gotta get the name graphics up. See, that's why it's on the bottom. Thank you very much for watching. We appreciate what's the line? Thank you so much, and we wish you the best. There it is. See, John DeCon is off 1 week. I completely forget the tagline. And we wish you the best in your future endeavors.